Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to be discussing the topic of Rosh Hashana, the Jewish New Year. Also
Shana Tova.
Shana Tova, everyone. Rosh Hashanah is also considered the head of the year, which really marks it as a time of deep, deep, deep reflection, a time of renewal, a time of creation and manifestation. So in Kabbalah, Rosh Hashanah is the birthday of humanity. And it's a day when new realities and new possibilities are set into motion for the year ahead, making Rosh Hashanah and this time leading up to it one of the most auspicious times of the Jewish calendar to get super clear about what it is we want the following year to look like. What is it we want to manifest? Because on Rosh Hashanah, the blueprint for the entire year gets created, making it the most potent time for seeding new intentions. So today we're going to talk about how to really use this time period in the most effective way to see to it that our desires manifest this year. Let's get to it. Becoming a co-creator with the creator is your birthright. Together, we'll journey into your deepest authenticity. Because the more you align with who you truly are, the more effortlessly you call in the life that you desire and deserve. And most importantly, the more you step into your soul's highest purpose. Welcome to the Manifestation Method podcast, your number one source for Kabbalistic manifestation. Here we combine the ancient wisdom of Kabbalah, modern psychology, and quantum physics to help you achieve real, tangible manifestation results with my proven Abra method. I'm Ayelet Polonsky, and I'm here to guide you on your journey of manifesting a life that is aligned, expansive, and deeply connected to your highest self through the sacred energetic mechanics of Kabbalistic manifestation. To learn how to use Kabbalistic manifestation to transform your life from the inside out, go to ayeletpolonsky.com or download the Manifestation Method app. Let's open the gates of manifestation together.
So no pressure.
It's actually a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun. One of I think too, like why don't we start out by sharing like what our personal intentions are for this year? Just like a couple things off the bat that we want to manifest.
Oh, wow. Wow. Okay. Just putting me on the spot. I mean, I would say honestly, just like doing what I'm doing, just bigger and more, right? It's like I'm already doing what I love and I'm already doing what I believe is in alignment with my soul's purpose. Thank God. It took me some real inner digging and excavating to like get to this place of clarity. And now it's just really expanding my vessel, like setting some clear intentions this year for my vessel to expand so that I can be of service in a much greater way without having, massive burnout, but like really being able to hold the capacity, that I want to be able to hold, I would say. So expanding that vessel, also expanding the vessel of impact. So really reaching as many people around the world so that we can really shift the frequency of planet Earth, the consciousness of human beings, and get this like manifestation methodology into the hands of as many people as possible so that we're all manifesting our best selves. That's my intention, is just go more expanded.
Wow, absolutely. I mean, and it's already happening. I can already see it.
Oh man.
Holding the vision.
What's your
Yeah,
intention?
also it's so good too. Like this is another thing, like share with your friends like what your manifestations are for the new year and then have them share with you because we can't manifest for other people, but it's so powerful being able to hold the vision for each other and celebrate like those manifestations coming into reality and things like that. So that's also something important to remember this year. I think my manifestations for the year is like a lot of the things are similar, like with manifestation mindset, really helping it reach so many people and help people create the life of their dreams. Like there's nothing better than that. And that's what we've all come on this earth to do, like to transform and create the world of like our highest vision. So I really like am so excited to grow my vessel that way this year and grow the manifestation mindset vessel like that this year. And also too, as always, I really love having fun and traveling and good times with family and friends. I want a lot more of that this year.
Amen, amen. I really, really see that for you. I really do.
Yay.
And by manifestation mindset, she also means the manifestation method. We are in the
hmm
process of doing a little bit of a rebranding. So we're, kind of back and forth between mindset and method, but it's, both very,
We
very.
have a lot in store for you guys this year, so just that's just one of the things, like for real. Like also too, like there's so many things that Ayelet and I can't expose just yet, but we're working on some really exciting things for you guys. And yeah, it's gonna be here like quicker than we think, so we can't wait to divulge more in that at a later time.
Totally, 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 totally. And also, I just want to make it available to you guys. I do what's called like a cheshbon nefesh. In Hebrew, it's
hmm
like an internal accounting. Like I take an account of my previous year, what it looked like. I look at the intentions I set for the Rosh Hashana the year before. I see how far I've come. And
hmm
then my husband and I, we get together before Rosh Hashana every year, and we actually have a blueprint that I created that takes us through a whole process to help us really anchor in and get clear on what our vision is for the upcoming year. So
Wow.
I'd love to share that blueprint with you all because it helps kind of get you on track and it gives your brain a place to organize all of your thoughts in a very succinct and clear way. So if you would like that blueprint, then the link is in the footnotes below. And so, yeah, and just let me know what ends up manifesting for you this year. That's always fun for me to find out.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
So let's jump in. So here, Rosh Hashanah. According to Kabbalistic teachings, right? Rosh Hashanah is the day when the divine light, when God's light, the supreme light for the coming year is actually drawn down. So we have this like
Oh.
really big auspicious 24 hours, but it's not just about the 24 hours. The most important part is the prep, which is right now. How are you using this time now in these days leading up to Rosh Hashanah so that you can best prepare yourself to receive that light because your vessel must be expanded by the time you meet Rosh Hashanah so that you can actually hold that amount of light. Okay, so this is a very powerful time to engage in manifestation work, to fill out that manifestation blueprint, to get clear,
hmm
crystal clear about what your intentions are. Okay, so in Kabbalah, let's talk a little bit more about this light and about vessels because these are big Kabbalistic concepts that we're trying to like break down in a way that makes sense for you all.
Right. And they
But
were trying to do the same for us, so it's the breakdown of
totally.
the breakdown.
This is the breakdown of the breakdown. But,
Yeah.
but in Kabbalah, manifestation is the process of turning potential or turning spiritual light, which is seen as potential, into reality. And reality is known as vessels. Okay, so we're turning potential into reality. And it involves aligning your inner desires with the divine will, with the cosmic desire for you, so that your manifestations come from a place of spiritual truth and higher purpose so that your desires are really in alignment with your soul's mission, with what is meant for you. Because we can ask for all the things in the world, but if we're not clear on what it is that we truly want, if what we think we want is based on what our parents told us we should do, the work that our parents want us to engage in, the type of person our parents want us to marry, or society or community expects from us, it might not be in alignment with what your soul's mission is meant for you. So, getting really clear is a huge step that helps you build and cultivate these energetic vessels so that this year you can actually fill those vessels with your 3D reality manifested. Okay. And
Oh,
the
that also too, in and of itself, like living to your most align, like in most alignment, like your highest alignment, like that is such a huge manifestation in and of itself. And just even connecting with that a little bit before Rosh Hashanah, like that can really expand your vessel, like for this coming year as well.
Totally. And also know that the universe is always conspiring to help you manifest. Okay. But your vessel must be in alignment with the light that you wish to bring into your life. So, right now, in the days leading up to Rosh Hashanah, it is the most auspicious time to work on refining yourself so that this upcoming year, your vessel is super expanded and ready to receive your holy desires. Okay. And so, this whole notion of like, time. Let's talk about that for 1 second. Okay. So
It's our favorite topic.
one of our many
Yeah.
favorite topics, but we're at the end of the year coming into a new year. Okay. So there's an ending that is closing and opening into a new beginning.
Hmm.
And according to there's my favorite line in the Kabbalistic book Sefer Yetzirah says that it goes in Hebrew, Sof ma'aseh b'machshava tchila, which means or translates into the beginning is wedged in the end, or the end result exists in the initial thought. The end is wedged in the beginning.
Hmm.
Okay, so what does that mean? It means that the intentions and the clearer that you are and the more precise you are with your intentions now in these days, right? The end result of what you see happening in a year from now is actually blended and wedged into those intentions now, right? When God created the cosmos, God had an end result in mind. It wasn't just happenstance or random. Okay. Similarly, as human beings being a microcosm of this macro creative force we call the creator, right? We can mirror that same mechanism of end result being in the initial thought and use this time to manifest with clarity, right?
Mm.
And that really means getting clear about the types of thoughts that we're thinking when it comes to our divine manifestation, because a manifestation principle is where your thoughts go, energy flows. Literally. I mean, this sounds woo woo, but it is like as real gets. Your thoughts send clear signals like arrows to dartboards
Hmm.
that send information out to the quantum field, to the field of Ein Sof for infinite possibilities. And it starts to code that field with all the thoughts you're thinking, which then manifests as your 3D reality. So it's an important time to understand like what are the to get clear on what are the types of thoughts that I'm thinking about my manifestation.
Mm.
Right? Are we
Right.
thinking thoughts of possibility or are we thinking thoughts of lack and scarcity? Are we thinking that I know that I know that I know my manifestation is happening this year? Or are we stuck in, I want my manifestation, but it hasn't happened yet. So what makes me think it's going to happen? And what if it doesn't happen? And what if I'm destined to just be alone and miserable my whole life, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right, because also too, it's like going back to frequency. Like that's a huge component of our method is it's really like thoughts. It's not so much you create from your thoughts, but you create from your frequency. And even thinking like the difference between getting excited about what's in store for you and excited and trusting that the universe is bringing you all of your manifestations to you this year, that creates excitement in the body. You might get butterflies in your stomach. You might just feel like, like a breath of fresh air. And that's how you're entering that high frequency state. And then when you're having these thoughts of doubts or fears that it's not going to happen, you'll feel like a literal tightness or constriction, like, the constriction of anxiety and fear. And then that is an indicator that you're in that lower frequency. And then there's ways that you can make yourself get into that high frequency again, like go through the fear, go through the naked, like the scary feelings, like learn how to release the constriction in your body so that you can really feel that excitement and really feel that trust.
Totally, totally. And that's a whole process in and of itself. And I would say just like backing up to just step one of the process is
Mm-hmm.
like what is going on between the four walls of your head, right? Like what is happening there? Because we use our thoughts to co-create our reality. And whether I think I can or whether I think I can't, I'm right. Right? Whether I think I can or whether I think I can't, I'm right. And I will manifest in accordance to what I think is possible.
Mm.
And from this perspective, it's important to know that you are always using the law of attraction, whether we like it or not. And that can be a scary thought, or it can be an empowering thought, because it
That's a
really,
cheshbon nefesh moment right there.
totally,
Yeah.
it really makes me tune in to my own inner authority, to my own sense of sovereignty, to this understanding that, God didn't just place me here to be a robot or an angel, right? Like angels just operate according to like their role and that's it. But we as
Right.
human beings were given free will, which
Mm-hmm.
means we get to choose, we get to create, we get to
Mm-hmm.
co-create.
Right.
And the mind functions like a flower garden, and you are the gardener. And the
Mm.
mind does not care what kind of seeds you're planting, whether they're seeds of negativity or
Mm-hmm.
whether they're seeds of positivity. The mind
Mm-hmm.
is just going to cultivate and grow whatever seeds you plant. So
Mm-hmm.
you, as the gardener, must come to a place right here, right now, leading up to Rosh Hashanah, where you just know and believe that I am a sovereign being and I have the power and ability to co create my reality. That God does not want to be in this alone. God created us as partners to be in divine partnership with Him,
Mm-hmm.
okay?
Mm-hmm.
Or her, however you refer to God. But
Right.
okay, so yeah, and the Baal Shem Tov, the holy Jewish sage, went on to say that where your thoughts are, that's where you are.
Mm-hmm.
Where your thoughts are, that's where you are. And that's where you focus, like that's where you're focusing your intention. And so wherever you place focused intention, according to quantum physics, what you focus on expands.
Mm-hmm.
So wherever you place focused intention, you're actually sending energetic arrows to that in that direction, which will then start to ripple out and create your 3D reality or your
Mm-hmm.
experience. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So how do we turn our mind into a flower garden versus a garden of weeds, right? How do we turn it into a flower garden? Well, let's first understand what this garden is made of. Okay. The garden is made up of stories.
Mm-hmm.
And a manifestation principle is that the stories you tell yourself about yourself become your reality. Okay, so again, back to whether I think I can or whether I think I can't, I'm right, and that's what will manifest. The
Right.
stories you tell become your reality. So
Mm-hmm.
the moment you change your story, you change the whole course of the possibility of what your life can look like.
And it takes a couple tries too, writing a new story and reinforcing a new story for yourself. They're the same coin, but they're two different sides. So
Totally.
even if you take a pen and paper and get in your journal and start writing what new story you want to create for yourself, and it doesn't happen right away, right as the new year comes in, don't be frustrated or scared. It just takes a little bit of practice to live out that story.
Totally. And I'm in that constant playground of playing with this
Mm-hmm.
practice. I haven't perfected it yet because I'm a human being who has feelings, who has thoughts, who has emotions, right? But because I know the methodology and I
Mm-hmm.
know what it takes to get me back on track, right? I use my own methodology to help me get back on. It's not about never having a negative thought. It's not about never having a negative feeling or an uncomfortable feeling. We're
Right.
human beings and we're going to be filled with discomfort and negativity. It's just part of
Mm-hmm.
the process. But how quickly can we come back to being in alignment? How do we build and cultivate a relationship with the discomfort so that we can alchemize, shift, and upgrade our system, our architecture to come back into alignment with our soul's purpose?
It's all about that alchemy.
It's all about that alchemy.
Mm-hmm. All
And
right, so
and
number two.
so 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 here we go. Right. Let's start from the beginning because you know the stories we tell ourselves about ourselves become our reality, but where did these stories even come from?
Mm.
Right. And so I guarantee that when you were born as a newborn baby, you saw this world as a playground of possibility. There was nothing that was impossible. I see it in my 3-year-old and in my 5-year-old. They build castles out of pillows.
Hmm.
Okay. They build dungeons and forts out of my dining room table.
Yeah.
And when they are immersed in that play, it's like it is as real as anything for them. Like
Hmm.
it is their reality in that moment. But then what ends up happening, okay, is we reach a certain age where something kind of strips us of that innocence.
Hmm.
Something kind of steals that story that anything is possible,
Hmm.
right? And how does this happen? Okay, I'll tell you another story. I was at the beach years ago and I saw a family with little kids on their beach blanket. And there was they had a little boy who had a Superman towel and he tied this towel around his neck so that it was draping down his back like a cape, like a
Hmm.
Superman cape. And he was running circles around his parents' beach blanket with his arms in the air and he's yelling at the top of his lungs, "I'm Superman, I'm Superman."
Hmm.
And I remember witnessing this scene, and the boy must have been like 4 years old or something. And I remember
Yeah.
witnessing this scene and thinking to myself, dear God, I really hope the world does not strip this boy of his innocence and what he thinks is possible. Because this
Hmm.
boy really, on every cell of his being, believes he's Superman.
He is Superman
He
in
is
that
Superman.
moment. Yeah.
In that moment, he's Superman, right? But then what happens, right? What happened to me when I was 8 years old and I had a crush on a boy named Tommy?
Hmm.
And Tommy comes up to me one day during recess and he looks me in the eyes. And I'm here thinking he's coming up to me to tell me that he likes me too. And I'm
Hmm.
all excited and nervous at the same time. And he looks me in the eyes and he goes, Ayelet, I don't like you, not even a little bit. Get that through your thick head. And I'm 8 years old. And up until that point, I was innocent. I didn't even know what it meant to have a crush on a boy up until that
Hmm.
point, right? I was innocent. Okay, but what were the stories I told myself about myself in that moment, right? I'm not good enough. I'm not pretty. I'm not lovable. No,
Hmm.
and then it even extended into my future. No boy will ever love me. No boy will
Hmm.
ever like me. Right?
Hmm.
No boy can be trusted because Tommy
Hmm.
broke my heart. So that must mean every boy is going to break my heart.
Right.
And we create all these stories, all these narratives about ourselves, about others, about the world, and we lose that trust. We lose that innocence. And that's what it means to be in exile,
Hmm.
right? That's what it means when we create these parts of ourselves that then try to protect us and keep us safe
Hmm.
and start blocking out the outer world and prevents us from really cultivating, creating real vulnerable connections with people because we're so scared of being hurt because Tommy broke my heart. So that means everyone's going to break my heart. Right?
And it's also too like what you just said reminded me of how so much like there's so much of our life that we think that we're being smart or we're looking out for ourselves when really it's like we're enabling these protector parts of ourselves to really get in the way of the magic. And that's really like the shame of just such a shame that it's like there's so much time that we can be spending like living in the magic, living in our highest frequency. And that's like what's really beautiful about this time of year is that it can really provide this amazing opportunity to show us how these protector parts are really getting in the way. I even had this huge insight the other day about something where I was like playing into this cycle of being I really pride myself on being someone that's very empowered and very independent. And I realized I was doing something where I was like putting myself in a really victim conscious state. I was like, and it was like literally to keep me from living my dreams. Like this pattern that I've been living out has been to like grow slowly, but it really is like my fear of like, wow, like what if my dreams really do come true? Like that having your dreams come true can be also really scary. And then I was like, oh my gosh, like that's such a sneaky little protector part that's been blocking out such big manifestations. And there's so many things like that, but it's a huge time to let that be revealed and work through it versus like beating yourself up on the lost time or whatever we think. It's really a great time to accelerate. to our highest selves.
Totally. And these parts serve an important role, right? Like that part that was stopping you or trying to keep you playing small out of fear of like really living into your purpose. And what does that mean? And oh my gosh, does that mean more responsibility? Does that mean more this, more that? Right? These protector parts are there to keep us safe in a way. And they get formed to kind of protect us from ever feeling rejected, from ever feeling dismissed or like I had a client come to me and she wanted to work on her fear of public speaking. That was like when she first came to me in our first session, she literally said, I am more afraid of public speaking than I am of dying.
Oh,
Literally. Okay. And
that's a
so
real fear, ladies and gentlemen.
it's a real fear, but
Yeah.
let's understand where this fear comes from because for her, we had to do some deep regression work. So we went into like a hypnotic state and we did some regression work. And she recalled a memory that she hadn't thought of for over 2 decades. And it was her as a little girl in a school play on a stage, and her parents and her siblings and her friends and strangers were all in the audience. And it came time for her to say her line, and she froze. And she just saw the look on everyone's face in the audience, like their eyes just got big and like they gasped a little bit. And
Yeah.
she was humiliated,
Oh my
humiliated.
gosh.
So it makes sense that she created a part in that moment that basically told her, you never get on that stage again, girlfriend.
Yeah, I'm saving you from the embarrassment.
I am saving you from the embarrassment. Okay. But it also means that when we create these protector parts, right, it takes other parts of ourselves and it puts them in exile, right? The part of her that then wants to feel seen, the part of her that does want to express herself, the part of her that wants to live into her fullest potential gets thrown into exile because the protector is like, no, 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 no. Don't come out of the closet. Don't come out of exile because there's a lot of potential for harm there. But what does this mean, right? Being in exile means losing the vision of the greatest potential of what each of us could be. It's a spiritual amnesia. It's a state of forgetfulness. Okay. So this girl who had a fear of public speaking, when we did this work of freeing her inner exiles and working with the protector parts, okay, she ended up becoming one of the greatest public speakers I know.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible.
Right. And does this mean that you have to like go in and do all this like IFS, internal family systems work, therapy? That's a lifelong journey and we're always on this journey. But I'd say like between now and Rosh Hashana is an auspicious time, and Elul in general, the month of the Jewish calendar, the Jewish month of Elul is a great time for teshuvah, right? And teshuvah is a returning. Teshuvah literally means to return. And this is the inner work. If you focus on anything this month, right, it's doing this work of returning to your true self, remembering who you truly are, right? That client of mine, her true self was not the fear that was afraid of public speaking. Her true self was the part that was frozen in time, frozen in exile, that wanted to so badly express herself, but just didn't know how. And so tshuva is about coming back to that childlike state. All right. The tshuva of this month, the returning of this month is the tikkun, is the fixing of this month. And when we turn the letters of tikkun around, tikkun meaning spiritual fixing, like what is it that our soul is meant to work on, to evolve in order to come back to remembering who we are. And if we turn the letters of tikkun around, we get the word tinok, which means baby.
That's so sweet.
So it's coming back to our baby selves, right?
Yeah, like our most authentic selves, like just without any blemish or without any trauma.
Exactly. And that's what this time of the year is about. It's about understanding that we've been gifted with a blank slate, and it's on that blank slate that we get to rewrite our stories, the stories we've been telling ourselves about ourselves. We have this opportune time to shift or alchemize fear into faith, doubt into trust, right? And so I invite you to really speak these words out loud. This is a time of communing with the divine, right? We're told that in Elul, the king is in the field, which means that God is not somewhere out there in the quantum field. Like God is right here in the most intimate recesses of your hearts. And this is a time to really do that hitbodedut, to speak out loud. And by speaking out loud, you're just not talking to God as some force outside of you, but you're speaking to the God that's within you. And by speaking out loud, you actually start to use the vibration of your own speech, right? Your speech carries vibrational frequency, and all of us have been gifted with a certain frequency of speech that was meant to heal ourselves. Like my voice, that is unique to me, was given to me because it is the most calming voice to my specific nervous system. Okay. And also using speech to create or to manifest is actually sending signals that tell yourself and also tell God what it is that you are looking to call in this year. In fact, speech, if we've been to a magic show, we've heard the words abracadabra, right? Abracadabra. And the roots of abracadabra are Aramaic, which is Old Hebrew. And abracadabra translates to, I will create as I speak. I create as I speak. Okay, so there's something about speech that has a creative element to it. Okay, so speaking your desires out loud, talking to yourself during this time of the year, during these few days leading up to Rosh Hashana, what is it that I want? Let me have a conversation with God. Let me have a conversation with myself right now. Let me get clear and then let me write it down on this blueprint and put pen to paper so that it gets anchored in more deeply into your 3D reality.
Talking nice too. Make sure to talk to yourself nicely with this new year.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of love, a lot of compassion, right? That's super important. Super,
Yeah.
super important.
Ayelet, I feel like the only way to close out this episode is for you to give us a bracha for this new year.
Yeah, totally. Okay. So bracha means blessing. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see.
We Jews love giving blessings. We love getting them and we love giving them.
Yeah. So, as you prepare for Rosh Hashanah, really remember that you are a co-creator of your reality. So I bless you to really know from the innermost recesses of your heart that you have sovereignty, that you are a sovereign being, that you have authority over your life and what gets created, and that by aligning your desires with the divine and expanding your capacity to receive and trusting in divine timing, you shall manifest a year filled with blessings, filled with growth, filled with fulfillment. And for those of you who are looking to manifest your soulmate this year, I bless you that this be the year that it finally comes to fruition. Okay, for those of you who are looking to ascend in your work, in your careers, I bless you that this should be the year that you get the clarity, you get that phone call, you get that notification, you get that soul plunge, right? Notification that tells you where to go and what to do to ascend to that next level in your career. For those of you who are looking to manifest physical health or spiritual health or mental health, I bless you that this be the year that total and complete refuah shlema, full health happens for you. And may it just overall be a really good and sweet new year filled with manifested dreams.
Shana Tova.
Shana Tova. If you enjoyed this episode, let's keep the conversation going inside the Manifestation Method Portal app, your #1 destination for Kabbalistic manifestation. Inside, you'll unlock the secrets of manifestation through my proven Abra method, rooted in Kabbalah, psychology, and quantum physics, designed to help you manifest real, tangible results from the inside out. Join our global community of manifestors, explore our signature courses, monthly live manifestation workshops with me, Ayelet, and access our transformational hypno activations and attunements to rewire limiting beliefs and align with your soul's purpose. The app is available now on the Apple App Store and Google Play. To sign up, head over to ayeletpolonsky.com. Becoming a co-creator with the Creator is your birthright. Let's manifest the life you desire and deserve together.